Well, first of all, I just want to address you people in front of me, the dailies. I had some of these banned for a few weeks, and to be honest, I get fed up with it. Your job is to tell the truth, right? That's your job. You can quote me when I'm accurate about things that I've said. I'm not going to have you twisting everything I say, okay? So the next time it's finished, you don't get to bring it back in, okay? I make that clear to you. You don't get back in. Finished. I'm fed up having to read papers and talk things I say, and I know I've said, and you completely twist it around, lie. Your job is to tell the truth. That's your job as a journalist. And if you can't do that, you're in the wrong job. Okay? So make that clear.
So have it right. Up the Chelsea, up the Minerals FC. Big up to every single one of you live and locked in. Hope everyone's doing well in life, winning all that jazz. So have it right. First and foremost, guys, I want you all to smash to pieces that like button. Smash it to pieces. Smash it like Dead Lasso, Siri Merchant. Let's have it right. There, missus. Yeah, let's have it right. Yeah, because I tell you what. Oh, man, I'm getting warmed up, bruv. I tell you. Hit that subscribe button. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, hit that subscribe button, yeah? Hit the notification bell, ding dong, all that jazz, so you know when we go live, because let's have it right. We are, what's it called? Shadow banned, is it? Blacklisted, is it? Oh, well, we don't care. We land it everywhere we go. And we got the Minerals FC Ultras membership, which is pinned at the top of the live chat and down below in the description, guys. So big up to everyone in here. Do the courtesy. Smash that like button. Just hit it. It helps the channel. We're on the road to 10K as well. Can you believe it? We're on the road to 10K. This is glorious, bruv. Yeah, let's have it right. Tonight, I tell you what, I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready, because this one is going to be a blockbuster. And I say this for a reason, bruv. Yeah, because there's a lot of things to delve into. A lot of things. But the main topic of today, yeah, before we go into it, big up to everyone. Obviously, let me just quickly see who's in here, because you know what I mean. We've got to do that, bro. We have to do it on the Minerals FC. Big up Metal Face Doom. We've got Brian Manrique. We got Mr. Minerals Medina. Johnny's in here, bruv. Big up to Leo. Big up to El Padrino, bruv. He says, big up Johnny Powell. Up the Minerals FC. Let's have it right. Our owners are killing our club slowly. Let's have it right. We're going to discuss a lot of things about Manchester United, about Chelsea, and how they correlate. How everything that's happening at these two clubs in this moment in time is so identical. It's unbelievable. And I'm going to explain why. And we're going to go run through the whole thing, bruv. So make sure you do smash that like button. Big up to Hannah. Big up to Jamar Jones. We got Mickey Joyboy. Reginald's in here, bruv. Who else in here, bruv? Francis Winters. Petty the Ripper's in here. We got Kevin K, Mickey Mouse. Well, let's go. He says, Ten Hag v Poch is soon. That is the El Sakiko. Oh, that's elite, bruv. Elite minerals landed, bruv. Make sure you land your minerals in the chat. Get in the chat, people, every single one of you. We got Michael CFC, Chelsea boy 1234. Big up to you, man. Big up to who else? William Mitchell. Big up to Cursor, bruv. Big up to Chelsea Blue and Blue. Everyone in here. Texas Blue, big up to you. Big up to Stretters, bruv. Says, big up, Johnny. By the time your fan base realise what's going on, it will be too late. The Glazer blueprint is in full effect, and we're gonna dissect these minerals here. Big up to JP the Dog. Big up to Hannah Chelsea. Who else in here, bruv? Anabolic steroids, big up to you, bruv. Smashed it, he says. Smash the likes. Smash those likes, guys. One Only Ace, big up to you, my geezer. Who else? CFC fan, one Harper Crits, bruv. Gabe's in here. We got Renegade Lifestyle, man. Come on, bruv. He says American owners are like vampire squids sucking the life out of clubs, just like Goldman Sachs does with countries and elites do to the people, mate. Love these comments. You see, on the Minerals FC, people say it as it is, bruv. Their comments are elite. Everyone's on the same page. That's why you're in here on the channel, bruv. And respect to everyone, man. Big up to Dazza, the Chelsea, my member. Big up to you, my geezer. Big up to Neil, man. Big up to Bartek Minerals, Bazyan, I know they're about. Big up to all you guys, all my members. Big up to Jamie. Guys, make sure you get in the chat, guys. Everyone get in the chat. Land your minerals, land your FCs, however you're feeling. Put your opinions as we go through this show, because this show is going to be epic, bro. We're going to say it, and I'm going to say it how it should be said. And the thing is, right, we're going to land it on everyone, bruv. We're going to mud everyone, because there's a lot of United platforms, yeah, that just give you the false agendas, man, the false narratives, bruv. I'm telling you this now. They're not saying it as it is. And it's exactly the same. It's identical to how it is at Chelsea. And we're gonna combine the two, and we're gonna actually elaborate on everything, that why it's similar. Why are we experiencing certain things and they're experiencing similar things? Why is that? What is the reason for these two clubs to be almost identical in everything that is happening right now? Within reason and context, bruv. We're going to land it. So, as you've seen flying about, Bald Hog, he got mudded by Baldiola. Let's have it right. The bald fraud's having it. Well, Pep's not really a fraud, but let's have it right. We just got an agenda on them because they're not Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? But those two went head to head, and it ended up in a disaster class for Manchester United, and they're in the mud. They are in the mud. The funny thing is they're so far in the mud, but we're further in the mud because we're below them. So I think it's hilarious that you get Chelsea accounts bantering United when you ain't got a right to banter, because we're below them, bruv. We're even worse. And there's going to be a reason why we're worse, you know. We all know the reasons why, the state of Chelsea. We understand what's happening at Chelsea, bruv. But we're gonna say it how it should be said. Ten Hag has basically lost that game. There's a lot of narratives thrown about. Ten Hag he's getting pressure from the supporters now. There's a lot of Ten Hag outers, as there were with Pochettino when he went for a bad run at the start of the season, and it's still a bad run. Let's have it right. But we beat Seagull Merchants, we beat Fulham, we beat Burnley, and then all of a sudden, no one's coming at the gaffer. They're just sort of like, yeah, Chelsea back when we're not back, because we just lost to Brentford at home. 3 back-to-back defeats at home to Brentford is a disgrace. Yeah, it's an absolute disgrace. So here we are, sitting here, and all these accounts are coming at Ten Hag. Platforms, YouTubers, everyone's coming at Ten Hag. Yeah, they're going, oh, why didn't he play Varane? He said Johnny Evans is the more tactical solution for this game. I'll explain something to you. I'm not even a United fan. Let me explain something to you. He's playing Johnny Evans with that slabhead of a Titanic, bruv. Harry Maguire, yeah. Because they've won the last 3 games and they've been playing consistently and they're fit. Varane's not fit. He's not match sharp, match fit. So he's gone with a safer bet. He knows his job's slightly in jeopardy. He knows that the clown owners upstairs are on his case. Let's have it right. And he's gone ahead and played Johnny Evans, and everyone's coming at him for that. They're coming at him for playing Lindelof left back, which I do kind of see. I think that maybe they should have played, what's his name, Reguilon. But what are we doing here? Reguilon, yeah? Reguilon, bruv. This guy is meant to be what? United's first team level, yeah? All right? He's not even Spurs' first team level. And you're basically, what? Wetting yourselves to play Reguilon instead of Lindelof is madness anyway, bruv. I mean, I find it hilarious. But he went with that. He didn't play Mason Mount. For me, that's criminal. That's your player. That's your number 7 player. You got to play him, bruv. In a derby, you have to play him against your neighbours. And you're not playing your Mason Mount number 7 is just like, well, you kind of deserve that. Then you got Scott McTominay only playing because he's helped them get through this shocking patch. They're playing shit football. Everyone knows it, but they're grinding out results. Something we're not doing. We're playing apparently amazing football, and everyone's going, oh, look at the patterns, wonderful play, and we're getting no points on the board. So it's like, what do you want? Do you want results? Do you want actual points on your board so you can get up there, or do you just want to play beautiful little football when we're not playing beautiful football at Chelsea? The football's dire, man. It's poor, man. Like, what are we doing here? The standards are in the mud. The standards at United for the supporters are in the mud because they're accepting this shit. Now, the funny thing is, Bald Hog, yeah, he's played this setup because it's like his safest option. Let's run through the team. I mean, Rashford, the guy's pants. I mean, he's out of form. He's a road runner. He's got no ball IQ. Useless. Anthony, the washing machine, bruv. He doesn't even deserve to play. He's useless, bruv. Garnacho's a kid, so he doesn't play. You got to play goofy Looney Tunes Fernandez, bruv, on the right because you're playing Ericsson, who shouldn't even be in the United squad, right? This guy's playing with what's his name, Amrabat, who, let's have it right, is a poor man's Casemiro. And then you got the other guy on the side, Scott McTominay, and you got their striker. The striker looks decent. I ain't going to lie. He looks quite saucy, bro. Yeah. But this is the thing, right? He's gone with the best lineup that he can go for. No platform that I have heard from Manchester United has been in defence of Ten Hag, all right? Now, they're all coming at him because, he said we set up the tactics right, this, that. He did kind of set the tactics up right. They're in the game. It wasn't a penalty. If it wasn't 1-0 up, if they didn't concede that penalty and the referee didn't give it because it was very soft, let's have it right. I would have been pissed if that was me at Chelsea and we got that given against us. It's a joke. Why didn't we get the Sterling one then against Brentford? No one asked that question. Inconsistency with the officials is the going rate. But let's have it right. Manchester United, now obviously the brown envelopes have run out because when Azpilicueta was getting his arm his head in a headlock by the most expensive fridge in world football, it wasn't given. So sometimes you got to take them, bruv. And that's the way I look at it. The funny thing is this. He comes out and says the right game. It was the right game plan. It was, in a way, with what he has on offer. His whole defence is a shambles. No one mentions that, yes, Varane, he's not match fit, so you're going to throw him into that derby? I don't know, bruv. But he's not played Varane. Martinez is out. Luke Shaw is out. Wan-Biscuits is out. Let's have it right. He's out. All right. You got Casemiro out. Already, that's like your first 11. Part of your half your first 11. All right. You're playing out of form Rashford, out of form Bruno, Goofy Fernandes, bruv. You're playing Ericsson, who shouldn't be a starter at Manchester United. So when you look at it, his squad is poor. His squad is poor at United. But you see, the reason that they're above us on the table is because they have experience. Not enough quality, but they've got experience to get them over the line, to get results. And that's what they've been doing. We can't do that. We can't get results, bro. We can't get anything at this moment in time. And we're sitting 12th in the table. And we spent $1 billion. Now, arguably, Ten Hag spent a lot of money. He has spent money. But what have they spent it on? If you ask yourself, the players that he wanted was Frankie de Jong. He wanted Harry Kane. He wanted the centre-back that Tuchel bought. Yeah? I don't know. I can't pronounce his name, bruv. I mean, what are we doing here? You know the one. He's built like a brick shithouse. That guy, yeah? So he's got 3 players that change the dynamics. Plus, he's got Mason Mount. Plus, he's got Haaland up front. Plus, he's got Martinez, Casemiro. You can start to see what he wanted to build at United. But he hasn't been given the keys. This whole illusion that the United supporters keep pushing out is that Ten Hag is being backed. He ain't been backed for shit, bruv. If you think he's been backed, you're a long way from Starbucks. And I'll give you an example, yeah? All right? Cristiano Ronaldo didn't get thrown out of the club because the Glazers are backing Ten Hag, bruv. You honestly believe that? The reason Ronaldo got chucked out is because he went against the Glazers and he called them out. And when you go at an American owner, the way they are, the ego merchants that they are, the greed merchants, the arrogance of them, they got rid of him straight away. The only reason they brought Cristiano Ronaldo to Manchester United was to sell shirts, not because it benefits the team and the way that United want to play and build a philosophy. All right. So already you can see the dynamics. The dynamics is about money making antics. It's driven, the money train. That's all they're interested in. Everything that those owners do is about money. Everything our owners do is about money. All right. The PR stunts are very the same. Everything's coming out. Today, it's come out that the owners are having briefings, the Glazers having briefings about Mason Mount not playing, about Ten Hag's training methods, about what Ten Hag's saying. Yeah. Anything, let's have it right, bruv. Anything to take away the limelight from the frauds that are owning the football club, from the money greed monsters that are running the football club. And this is the same fucking situation at Chelsea where Pochettino gets all the heat. Yesterday, there was threats about Pochettino. He doesn't know how much time he's going to get. And then all of a sudden, you get the brown envelopes coming out. Oh, he's going to be given time. He's been given time. We've heard the same old story from every single one. But the one that fucking winds me up the most, bruv, the one I said to him, don't you dare go there. And what did you go and do today? You get the brown envelopes to publicise about Roman Abramovich buying Willian, bruv, and Etu, and that we might be sanctioned, that we might have fines, that we might have point deductions. Let's have it right, you fucking Ted Lasso Bowley and Siri merchant. You clowns. You do not fool me on the Minerals FC. I'll tell you that now, right? You put that out because you're trying to make Roman look bad. You're trying to make it look like, oh, if we lose points and we get deductions or we get sanctions so we can't go in the window and we don't make Champions League and we have a shit season, you're going to blame it on that because it covers your face. Just like the Glazers are trying to use the brown envelopes to cover their face to put everything on bald hard. Let's have it right. We land the Minerals everywhere we go. Let's say the narratives how they really are because let's have it right, yeah? All right. The owners that we got our football club, I'll tell you what they are. They are amateur Glazers. And right now, in this moment in time, right, I call them amateurs because they're not making money how the Glazers are making money. These guys are pissing money. And they think that they're going to make money because they're taking a massive gamble because it's all about brand expansion. It's all about monetized content. It's all about beachhead, multi-club, make a super youth team. What's that got to do with anything, bruv? What about our first team? Our first team's a shambles. Let's remind everyone that one of the 5% owner, Little Wisey, yeah, is driven by Chelsea Football Club by the lack of respect for Roman Abramovich. And today we got articles about Roman and what the deals with William. Isn't it ironic? Isn't it interesting that none of this came about after all these years when Roman Abramovich was in charge? You honestly believe that this is true? What about the last antics they brought out about Roman? And we were going to have some sort of fines implemented at Chelsea. What happened with that? Because we didn't hear nothing from it. Yeah? And it's going to be the same old story with this one. Unless our season's that bad, they will fraudulently, publicly put it out there that we had the points deduction. I don't believe that. Or that we're going to get a fine. Yeah, fuck it. So what? You've just got a 500 million investment. Let's have it right. What we doing here, man? It's all the same nonsense, bro. So my thing is this. When you look at Ten Hag and you look at Pochettino, they're both set up for failure. The reason they're set up for failure is they're not being backed. You think they're being backed, but they're not being backed. All right? What's Pochettino got? Pochettino's got inexperienced kids. He's got all high potential, all data-driven potential. But what experience has he got? What players did he know? He didn't even know about most of these players that we signed. All right? He even came out in the transfer window and said, I need experience. I need experience. And they go and buy him Cole Palmer. They go and buy him another kid. They don't buy him any experience. So he's basically dealt a shit hand. He's trying to shuffle. He's trying to develop these players with quick succession. He's got no time in the league. He's got no time for developing these players, but he has to do it on the job. And he knows that it's getting hot. And what are all the Chelsea accounts doing? Chelsea accounts putting heat on Pochettino. He's running out of time. He's making poor decisions. This is all on Poch. Blah, blah, blah. Same old narrative. Never go at the owners. Just go at Pochettino. But the brown envelopes will make sure that the gaffer gets all the brunt of it, just like the Glazers are doing for Ten Hag. You honestly believe, right, that Ten Hag gets sacked? You think that anything's going to change? You think any other elite manager is going to want to walk into that job when they know it's an absolute circus, bruv? They ain't even got a director of football, bruv. They ain't even got a sporting director, man. And the way they got Murto, whatever his name is, this guy's a wet wipe. He's rubbish. He ain't nothing on what they had before. David Gill was levels, bruv. So what are we doing here? What have we got as a sporting director? We got Siri Merchant, Ted Lasso. Tells you everything you need to know. How are you building a structure at a football club? How are you trying to implement an identity and a culture if everything from the top that runs down to the team isn't connected, doesn't correlate? How? It's an impossible job. It doesn't work. All the clubs that are successful right now, that are in the makings of success, or that are coherent together, that are working and collaborating in the right direction, is Arsenal, Manchester City, Newcastle, Liverpool, to an extent, even though they're little, like, you know what I mean, bin dippers, budget merchants, yeah? All right? Brighton, even Brentford at this point. These teams are going in the right direction. Why? Because they're giving the manager keys. They're getting the right personnel in the right positions to go in the right direction. But the key fundamental fact of why these teams are going in these directions is because of the ambition of the ownership. The ambition of the ownership is where it all stems from. And I've always said this, and it doesn't change. Football's blueprint is the same. The way clubs run, the way football clubs run, it doesn't change. Blueprints are blueprints, like Chelsea's blue. It works for a reason, bruv. And this is the reason. When you look at Manchester United and you look at Chelsea Football Club, the disconnect from the owners, directors, sporting directors of that are not even in existence. The coaching staff, the gaffer to the players is all disconnected. So it doesn't matter what manager you bring in. It doesn't matter what players you bring in, because the club's buying the players, not the gaffer. So you're not building with a gaffer a philosophy, an identity, a way of playing, because you're buying the players and you know Scooby about football. You don't even have a director of football. So how are you making these decisions? Relying on some little mid-table directors or commercial directors. Dave Woodward, who's just a commercial monster, he's got no idea about football. They want to bring in Ratcliffe into Manchester United for 25%. That's a nice 25% to save the Glazers' face, because that's exactly what it will do. He'll be the fall guy. He'll be in charge publicly of all the footballing aspects, from the gaffer, players, team, all this jazz. Marketing will be involved in that on football terms. The Glazers take a step back. My arse. They ain't taking no step back. They got their hands in every single department, bruv. They might give the illusion they're not, because they don't go to games. They don't go in that dressing room. That's why I say our owners are clowns. They are amateur Glazers, because they go in and out the dressing room. They make it public. They want to be celebrities. They want to walk around. What billionaires do that are serious about running a football club? Well, the Glazers ain't serious about running a football club. The Glazers are serious about making money. And so is Ted Lasso and Siri Merchant. They're both money driven. So what sort of team are you looking to build? How successful are you going to be? And I'll tell you how it'll pan out. Ten Hag will get the sack. Pochettino will get the sack the moment Champions League football is a distant memory. You can't see it, because that's when the owners go, oh, we're missing out on all that revenue. We can't afford to have our club out of that Champions League. Now, Ten Hag got Manchester United into the Champions League and won them a trophy last season. He was in the right direction. But what backing did he get this season? The backing he got, I'll tell you what backing he got, bruv. He got Johnny Evans, because they didn't have the money. They got fined by financial fair play. They came to Ten Hag and said, you ain't got a budget. We can only spend this much money. They wouldn't sell Harry Maguire because they didn't want to pay him out his, whatever it was, 12, 13 million or whatever it was, tuppence, bruv. They didn't want to pay it out. So he ended up staying, bruv. All right. He had to buy a striker overpriced. They wanted Mason Mount, and he got Mason Mount because our clown owners wanted the financial fair play money. It's a knock-on domino effect with these clowns. All right, they all help each other out. Well, they needed to balance the books, so they got Mason Mount out because, let's have it right, Ted Lasso didn't want Mason Mount, neither did Siri Merchant. They had an agenda on the kid. He's pre-Roman. Let's get him out of the club. Let's make that money because of all our fuck-ups, spending 635 million, sacking Thomas Tuchel, having a calamity, worst season in 30 years. We need to balance the books so we can go in the market again. What are we doing here? And now we spent $1 billion, all right? We spent $1 billion, okay? So it's inevitable that the Glazers and our Clear Lake wrong-uns are going to sack our two gaffers, yeah? It will come. The moment top four is a distant memory. And the moment that happens, not only that, the supporters turn And the owners want the supporters to turn on the managers. But the real issue is the ownership. The real issue is their ambition. What are their priorities? And their priorities are money, making money, globalization, multi-club project. I mean, the Glazers ain't even doing a multi-club project. The Glazers are literally milking all the profit from Manchester United, which is based upon their history. That history is evaporating with time because the longer you go on and you don't have any success, you're just milking it as a brand. So all you're focusing on is building that brand when that brand's got no substance anymore. It's got no mentality. It's got no identity. The whole DNA's been stripped out. Well, it's a similar situation at Chelsea. Where's our ambition? Our ambition isn't to be competing at top level. If that was the case, we would have kept Thomas Tuchel. We would have tweaked the players. Then you can integrate the multi-club project behind the scenes like Manchester City do, all right, because they don't publicise it. They don't build a super youth team with Pep Guardiola, bruv. And then people go, well, Pep Guardiola, he had one season. Listen, there's a massive difference between a Ten Hag going to Manchester United, Pochettino, or a Tuchel even going to Chelsea, all right, where Pep Guardiola went into Manchester City when they just won the league. They had a team of players. They got owners that are driven to make Manchester City the biggest club in Manchester. Yeah. And they are giving the keys to Pep Guardiola. They're throwing money at him. They're giving him what he wants. They're giving him control, proper control, because their ambition's not about making money because they're rich as hell. They don't care. All right. Well, that's not the same as Ten Hag right now at Man United. That's not the same as Pochettino or Tuchel or Poch or whoever's coming in. You can throw money, but what are you throwing money at? In reality, what are you throwing it at? Because the bottom line is this. All you're throwing it at is money-making schemes. For our club, it's about making money off players, buying them cheap when they're young because they've got high potential and then selling them on because they're on prison sentence contracts. You've got all our players there when we're going to talk about the attitude of players and the dressing room antics and this and that in the next section, yeah? Because when I look at Ten Hag is literally like, what's he got to do, bub? What can he do? He's not being backed. He's not actually being backed fully. Yet all these platforms are saying, oh, he's been backed, he's throwing money, you got to give him time. But the problem is that Manchester United and Chelsea Football Club is that these are the two fucking clubs that you can't give time to. They don't understand process. They don't understand development. They don't understand fucking all this shit, man, because this is not what they were, bruv. You see, United are in 10 years, God knows what, of all this madness and circus, bruv, because nothing's changing, because the owners are still there, letting that club rot, bruv. They need stadium rebuild, training ground rebuild. They need a new team, bruv. But like the teams are a pick and mix of all different eras, bruv, and different managers. So I don't know what you expect Ten Hag to be able to play his football. And he came out and he said today, I can't play my football. What did he say? I'm going to read what he said. He said, never will we play that football because those were different players. This is also not why I came here. We are playing different football than I showed at Ajax because I have to, because I can't play the same way. The players decide how you play. Ajax is a very typical and characteristic style of play. With Manchester United, I will always show different football. I did so last year as well. We played much more direct football here because I have the players for that here. And this is a key fact, bruv, because this is a difference between having a Thomas Tuchel and having a Pochettino and having a Ten Hag. Because Ten Hag and Pochettino are not problem-solving gaffers. They're more development managers, but specifically Ten Hag, you're taking a manager who's come from Ajax that plays a brand of football for years. The DNA is Johan Cruyff. He learnt off Johan Cruyff. Everything, the whole system, the whole club model from top to bottom is built upon that to the very grassroots. So no matter what he does, he knows the way that Ajax play. He knows the players that are in that squad. He's not dealing with egos and all this jazz, all right? And Ajax are a big club. Let's have it right. They were the youngest team to win the European Cup. So we have to give them credit, but they have a brand of football. You can't just take that and translate it to Manchester United with the state Manchester United are, because the infrastructure behind the first team, behind what everyone sees, is in tatters, bro. It's not going to happen. It's impossible. Whether you sack him or you don't sack him, it's the same issue no matter what gaffer you bring in, because the core problem is the ownership, no director of football, the structure, the model, the communication from top to bottom. And it's the same thing at Chelsea. Thomas Tuchel came in, elite gaffer, landed his chopper at Cobham. We were playing bad football, mix and match. We had a squad of pick and mix from 5 seasons ago, going far back as Conte and all that. All right. And he came in and we had instantly against Wolves, even though it's a 0-0, we had an instant identity and a style of play. And he knew how to get the best out of the squad because he's an elite problem-solving tactician, bro. Elite minerals, yeah? Well, Ten Hag ain't that, and he's showing that with what he's got at United. Ollie did to an extent, but he played safe, counter-attacking football. And Ten Hag is trying to play that way because it's the players at his disposal. The players are not good enough. The players, I'll name you the players that fit his system. The players that fit his system is Højlund, the new striker he's bought. He's got Casemiro. He's got Mason Mount. Arguably Anthony, because he's played at Ajax. All right. Martinez, Onana. They are the key players that fit his whole ethos. All right. So where are we going with all the other players in that squad? You think he wants Rashford? You think he really likes Bruno Fernandes? Bruno Fernandes, that's his fault that he made him captain. Like Roy Keane said, he's not captain material. Yeah, he's not. He's not a leader. He's a whiner. He's a moaner. He doesn't have that aura about him of being a captain, bruv. Yeah. So you're down there. You've stripped Maguire. Bad egg in the dressing room. Johnny Evans, he's a dinosaur. Shouldn't even be playing, but he's got no choice because of injuries. You've got Ericsson, who shouldn't be in the United team. His career's ended anyway. It's over, bro. You've got Scott McTominay, who he wanted to sell. He's got a lot of players in his squad that they were surplus to requirements. Even Sancho is another shit-showing story. You've got Anthony off-the-field antics. You've got all this drama going on before you've even kicked a ball for the season. Then he's got the injuries on top of that. And he's not getting the money he needs to buy the players he wants to play his style of football. So he's not fucking wrong in saying, I'm never going to be able to play this football, because in this current time, he's probably thinking, I'm going to get sacked. You're never going to see it anyway, because the Glazers are already starting the campaign using the United stands and all these brown envelopes, probably Mark Goldbridge, the goldfish himself, and all these guys. You've got TalkSport coming out. You've got Sky Sports. You've got all the Twitter accounts feeding agenda on Ten Hag. So he's got no chance, bruv. He's done. It's finished, bruv. This guy's probably gone. Dressing room's probably absolute toxic minerals right now. Toxic minerals, bruv, in the dressing room. Just like it is at Chelsea. Because everyone thinks it's all rosy at Chelsea. He's not rosy at Chelsea. It's the same scenario. Pochettino's not a problem-solving manager. He's been given a handful of kids that he's got to develop and problem solve with some injuries, but problem solve to the extent that he needs to get results, he needs to get top 4, and he needs to start now. We're already 10 games in the season. We're sitting 12. We're losing against teams we shouldn't lose. We've got a £1 billion squad, and we've got a bench that is just like Houdini himself, bruv. No one knows what the bench is because it's invisible, bruv. It's non-existent. There's no quality or minerals on there for him to change a game. So he's set up with a squad that is not his identity. You see, you're trying to implement their model, but their model is about making money. Their model's not about identity, a brand of football, building around a gaffer. Do you honestly believe, that building around Pochettino, all of a sudden we're going to turn it into title challengers? You got Simon Jordan, the fraud himself, coming on Talk Sport with the fucking arrogance and audacity to say that, in 2 years, Chelsea are definitely winning the Premier League under Todd Bowley. Literally, Brown knows this guy, literally on his knees, his bloody knees, old Simon Jordan, giving us bangers and mash waffle that we are in a condition in 2 years to win the Premier League. You're a long way from Starbucks. It's like all the other clubs around us are not going to improve. They're not going to get better. City are just going to get weaker. Arsenal are going to get weaker. Spurs and all these guys that are up there at the moment, Newcastle, all going to get fucking weak, and Chelsea are going to be strong because we're going to have all that time to develop players. Let's have it right, Simon Jordan. You're a failed club owner at a non-elite level, and you are getting brown envelopes from Ted Lasso Bowley relentlessly, because let's have it right. You'll rip into shreds into a Ten Hag. You rip into shreds with other clubs. But when it comes to Chelsea and Ted Lasso Bowley and Siri Merchant, oh no, we praise him. we lay out the red carpet because they're doing such a wonderful job. Why don't you talk about how we spent $1 billion and we're a fucking shambles? Yeah, we're an absolute shambles. No one talks about that, bro. No one talks about that. Yeah, big up to everyone in the chat, bro. Every single one of you in the chat. All of you guys, respect to everyone. I'm going to quickly run through the super minerals here and we're going to continue. So hit the like button, guys. James says, Johnny, our owners had a problem with Cherky attitude, but somehow had no issue with Pulisic, Ziyech, and Lukaku's attitude. Makes you think, doesn't it? What does it make you think? That they couldn't get Ziyech off the books because Ziyech failed medicals. He didn't want to go to Saudi or wherever he wanted to go, bruv. All right? He was just being a problem. He's a bad egg altogether, bruv. He should have been gone last summer window when Tuchel asked for Pulisic and Ziyech and Lukaku to all be sold. But they loaned Lukaku because no one paid the money for the cement-booted rat. Yeah, Turkey. This is a nonsense story. How can they have the authority and judgment to say, oh, he's got poor attitude when our gaffer wasn't even fucking charged when we were linked to this guy? If we're even linked to this guy, so again, false narratives, false propaganda about transfers and all transfer rumours that have no substance. It's just to make the supporters think that we're going in and they're testing the waters with the supporters through all the big accounts, filtering down. Oh, it's people going, would you take Sancho? Would you take, what's his name, Vahailovic? Would you take... Listen, it's come out that only one director is interested in Vahailovic, and the Chelsea board are looking at a striker. They're looking at Osimhen, Tony, and Vahailovic, but one of the... Who the fuck is saying, why should the directors have a say on whether... Oh, I want Vahailovic and you want Ivan. Who the fuck? It should be the gaffer. If you're backing a gaffer, Pochettino should have the say and say, I want this player. And that's the mold of player I want. So give me that player. That's not going at Chelsea. That's not happening at Chelsea. What's happening at Chelsea is that these owners, these clown directors, mid-table mentality directors, Toothpick Winstanley and fucking Stuart Little, they're the ones. They're the ones that are recommending this nonsense, bruv. They're not collaborating with Pochettino. Pochettino's likely to get sacked, bruv, because they'll feed the agenda on him. But don't tell me that we are looking at all these strikers when where's the money, bruv? We got rumours now that Trev Chalobah is going to be, we got, who was it? It's Bayern Munich. And who's the other club? Manchester United. They're looking at Trev Chalobah. We're saying we're looking in January to buy a defender and a striker. We got fucking Trev there. And we're looking for a defender. Make it make sense because they need the money, bruv. Pound note. We need profitability, pure profit. Trev's pure profit. So let's sell him on. Maatson signed a year extension. He's not going to sign a contract when he's not even playing, bruv. All right. They're going to make their money with that year extension and sell Maatson. They'll probably sell Conor Gallagher as well because there'll be an agenda on Conor Gallagher once our results go even more piss poor. Let's have it right. They're already moaning about him playing in the pivot. That, oh, we miss Enzo Fernandez so much. We haven't got a squad good enough to beat Brentford without Enzo. Is that the narrative now? You wrong-uns, bruv? Is that how far we've fallen, bruv? Your standards, your whole ball IQ, your understanding of football's all in the mud. It's all in the mud. You're in the woods. So it's a joke, yeah? And you want to blame just Pochettino. Oh, he played this arsey right back. Well, maybe because Gusto's got no fucking end product. And Gusto against Arsenal faded out, and we conceded that second goal because of Gusto. Now, if you concede a goal in a game where you could have won that game, what do you think Jose Mourinho's doing? Do you think he's going to start him the next game? Is he? Fuck. He's benching him. That's the right attitude. But my thing is about standards and standards at the football club. The standards are set from the owners up top, all right? And it filters down to the gaffer, the director, the gaffer. And the gaffer has to be given the keys. If anyone watched John Obi Mikel, shout out John Obi Mikel, John Obi-Wan, Obi-Wan's podcast, John Terry came on there and he was saying Jose Mourinho had full control of everything. Roman gave him full control of everything and everyone was on the same page. If they lost, it was a bastard mentality and everyone was pissed off and they were fighting each other and then they couldn't wait to get on the pitch to rectify and get a win, and when they win, they're buzzing, bro. There's standards. There's standards that he even mentioned about Jose Mourinho saying, I like my porridge lumpy and you know what I mean? Well done. And John Terry likes it all dilute, like piss. So what we doing? He went to the canteen, said, this is unacceptable. You do 2 options of porridge. And the canteen's on edge. Just the canteen, the tea lady. Is she going to make the right cup of tea for the staff, for all the team? This is just for just the basic day runnings of the club. Imagine what he's like on the pitch and on the training ground. He said that the training was so brutal that when I played against strikers, I was playing against Didier Drogba, I had no problem playing against all the other strikers in the Premier League. It was like food and drink. And that's why we had the 15 world record of conceding 15 goals in the Premier League, only 15 goals, because these were the levels, these are the standards at Chelsea. All those standards are in the mud, and they've been set by the owners upstairs. And it's the same as Manchester United. You gave Sir Alex Ferguson the keys to top to bottom, all right? And that is how a club should be run, all right? But now you've got too many of these owners and too many board members that have their fingers in every pie, and there's too many people that have a say that it all gets messy. And then you don't have cohesion. You don't have everyone on the same page, singing off the same script. Do you understand me? So here we are with the Glazers as well, and they are dictating everything because it's all about money. Ten Hag hasn't got a say. He hasn't been given the keys. So those days of Man United are over like it was at Sir Alex Ferguson days. And it's been like that with every manager they've had. The moment top four's out of sight, these Glazers panic. And the same will be with Ted Lasso and Siri Merchant. The moment we don't get top four, because they came out and they said, we need top four. It's an absolute minimum requirement. All of a sudden, the standards are we're a top four Arsenal now. We have to get top four. That's our trophy, because you've set us back so many fucking years, buying and selling all our elite players, all our experience, and bringing us kids after kids that ain't really at the fucking level that we need to compete in the Premier League with the top tier clubs at the moment. So this is my point. You ain't going nowhere. Pep Guardiola came out and he said, it's simple. I have a relationship with the CEO, I have a relationship with the director, the owners, and the club is all together. And that's what builds the right foundation to build success and longevity. Yeah. Where's that at Chelsea? Where? Because all I'm seeing is Ted Lasso with his and Siri Merchant with his little yes men, Stuart Little and Kerry Winstanley, with no real sporting director like a Michael Edwards, bruv, yeah, or someone or a Peter Kenyon-esque type figure, all right, collaborating with a gaffer, backing a gaffer, still going in that dressing rooms, still dictating. And this brings me to the minerals landing. But before I get to that, I want to read the super minerals. Johnny, I knew as soon as Potter was appointed, these owners would kill us softly with their song, not saying things were perfect before, but we should have just built on the UCL squad, Rice and new attack. Exactly. Well, we know, I've already explained what Tuchel wanted. He didn't get it, didn't get backed. And that was the right thing to do. The biggest mistake these clowns, the wrong uns upstairs made is sacking Thomas Tuchel, and they are paying the price right now. Big up to Constantine. He says, it's ironic how all these kids are only joining Chelsea because of us being elite under Roman. How many will want to join after a decade of Clear Lake? Well, this is the thing. You see, it's not sustainable for these owners to not be successful, right? They are trying to be sustainable in the sense of monetary flow, buying a squad, building a young squad, and that's it. The job's done. We've spent the money, all our eggs in that youth, super youth team, and we've got to rely on a gaffer developing them to play a brand of football. When you haven't got the data technology, you haven't got your own system, you don't have a sporting director, your owners are playing sporting director, they have all their little yes men in charge of the face and fall guys like Paul Winstanley and Stuart Little, who when the Casado deal was falling through, everyone was coming at them and not the owners. And then it made out that the owners steam in and sit at the negotiation table and do the deal, which is a big load of waffle, because they're the ones that dictate what price Chelsea pay to the directors, the so-called directors of Winstanley and Stuart Little. I mean, what are we doing here? I don't go to my CEO and say, by the way, we're going to pay this price. He tells me, he dictates to me what the price I go and negotiate is. I mean, it's just like brown envelope myth, brown envelopes mything you lot with all this waffle. But this is true. If you're not successful, then what do you gain? Where are you making your money? The thing is, they're making their money on the stadium rebuild. They're making their money on the brand commercial side, because Chelsea has the elite status, has that we're the biggest club in London. We are in the best place in London, the best city in the world. We are in in Chelsea, prime location. All right. Already your brand is established, and Roman's history, Matthew Harding, Ken Bates, all that history is there. Doesn't go anywhere, and they're living off that. And they're only living off it for 10 years to make their back. Glazers have been living off that era under Sir Alex Ferguson for a lot longer, and they are still going nowhere fast. Nowhere. Because their mentality is not about making Manchester United great. End of. Yeah. Johnny, more defeats than wins. Like United have Maguire, Martial. We have too many bluffers at this club, on and off the field, and the stands accept it. The stands are not going to accept it too much. There are supporters that are questioning it. The Simon Jordan take today sent people off the edge. They was calling him deluded because he is deluded. He's a brown envelope. He's spitting a narrative, a positive narrative to make everyone believe, and fall back into that. Oh, it's so trust the process, and we've got such great things to look forward to after a loss against Brentford at home. It's always after a loss. We're looking at a Boca Juniors 17, 18-year-old. Fucking buy me some experience, man. Go and get me a Frankie de Jong. Go and get me a Vahailovic. Go and get me something, man. What are we doing here? And we got players on prison sentence contracts who are just happy. They don't care. They know they've got their payday every week. They know they ain't going nowhere. They're locked. They're made. They're all set up. So where's that hunger from these young kids? There's not even hunger from young kids. It's embarrassing, bruv. Big up to Kevin. He says, owners have fed to the news today that Willian and Eto transfers were dodgy deals. They keep discrediting Roman after already mudding his club. And this is it. These are facts. Listen, you've got to understand something, yeah? Everything that these owners do when it comes to media and this whole PR Happy Meal merchantry that is going on, this fraudulent activity, bruv, where everyone's buying into it and eating off it, is to make them not look bad. Because everything they've done is bad. Everything they've done is a fucking wrong move. Everything. It's disaster. Bad decision after bad decision from the moment they walk through the door. So they've got to cover it up. They've got to try and mud Roman. You'll never be able to mud Roman, bruv. You're not even worthy to fucking say his name, man. You're not even worthy to say his name. He won the lot. You see all those trophy cabinets in the club that you so-called own and you're proud to own and this and that, yeah? That's because of Don Roman, mate. The majority. Not everything. The majority. Let's have it right, yeah? Because we had history before Roman came. We won trophies before Roman came as well. Yeah, let's not forget that, all right? But, they love to come at Roman, Siri Merchant, saying that, it's poorly run before and all this. Shut up, man. Jog on. Wrong uns. Disgusting. Get them out. They're a cancer. Kevin says, so many clowns keep feeding agendas on Mount, blaming him for the loss. He hasn't even started 2 games in a row for United and he's played out of position. You see, there's a lot of players played out of position. Mount out of position at Chelsea got 30 GA under an elite gaffer, under an elite owner with mentality. And we won the Champions League, Super Cup, Club World Cup. We got top 4 back-to-back. That's the standards at Chelsea. All right. And in 2 years, we've capitulated. And everyone's going, oh, trust the process. We're Arsenal now. We're Spursy now. I mean, listen, look at yourselves. You're embarrassing us. You're embarrassing us supporters and all the platforms accepting this. And I specifically come at the platforms because the platforms got responsibilities to put out the right narrative. They're not doing that. Yeah. And the United platforms are the same. They're the same, cut from the same cloth. And funny enough, they all fucking work with each other. They all integrate with each other on their different channels and shows, bro, because they're all on the same page. It's all what the brown envelopes dictate. The brown envelope matrix dictates what they say, dictates what they put out as content for all the supporters to only have that as the go-to because it's such a big following. That's what they get sucked into. Yeah. And that's the going rate. Mount, let's talk about Mount now because that broke out with Manchester United today. And this is what I'm talking about when you have the Glazers trying to they're pushing the heat away from them because they know protests are coming. But this was madness, bruv, today. Yeah. So basically, the United stand typically, let's put it up. The United stand typically they love to get all the clicks, don't they? And they love to tweet this shit out and leak it out because apparently the leaks was Ten Hag and Mason Mount fell out, which is bang as a mash waffle. And now they have to come out with a true story because it's been given the go ahead by the fucking Glazers. So United stand understands that there has been no fallout between Mason Mount and Ten Hag. However, at board level, it's thought that due to Mason wearing the iconic number 7 shirt, He should be getting more game time. The lack of game time is not good business, and having him sitting on the bench is thought to be having financial implications on having a star number not in regular use. An insider said the whole place is crazy at the moment. It's toxic, bruv. There is so much uncertainty everywhere. Boardroom, coaching staff and players, none of them know if they'll even be here next season, Eric included. The sooner Sir Jim comes in and has 1% of control on the structure, it will be a godsend to us. So the United stand are, without, under the sniff of your nose, bruv, are propping Ratcliffe coming to Manchester United because it's what the Glazers want. I love Landing the Minerals. I'm fucking cheer it, bruv. All right. They snuck that in. Not only have they snuck that in, but they're letting you know that it's rotted from top to bottom. Yet their tweets, their propaganda should be not, is Ten Hag right for the job or not? It should be Glazers out. They're killing our club. But that tells you all they care about is the club narrative, not the fan narrative. But they're a fan platform. Let that sink in and drink those minerals in, yeah? All right? And that includes Mark Goldfish, who doesn't like to work with people because he doesn't want to make them big. He's a self-absorbed, egotistical brown envelope. And that is what he'll always be. So anyone watching him, I think you should stop watching that one because he's fake. He's a Nottingham Forest fan for starters. And big up Paul Parker, who mudded him saying he's a Forest fan. And anyone who listens to him doesn't know football. He's not wrong. So he goes, I used to love working here, but recently it's an effort just to turn up in the morning. And I know I'm not alone in saying that. Eric looked shot. The same old Ollie did towards the end. It's painful to see that he was a breath of fresh air last year, though the party line publicly is that Eric is the man and has the support, but I don't even think he believes that at the moment. The United stand confirmed that Mason Mount is still really positive around character and that being on the bench isn't thought to be affecting his day-to-day life. Let's have it right. The most important thing for these owners, just like our owners, is shirt sales, commercial aspects, commercial monetization is what they're worried about because their number 7 isn't playing, even though it's Eric Ten Hag's player that he wanted that when Mason Mount was at Vitesse and he was at Ajax, irrespective. He's not playing him because he's not playing him. He's playing him for a reason, not playing for a reason. Whether you think that's the right reason or wrong reason, for me, you play him, he's your best player. You've got to play him, yeah? The problem is this. As I've muddied the United stand for what they really are, this narrative is Ten Hag doesn't even believe that he's been back because he knows he's not been back. He's been sold a false project. The Glazers promised him, we're going to do this, do that, blah, blah, blah. And when it comes to the crunch and he's delivered a trophy and got top 4, he's not been backed. Instead, he gets a, sorry, we can only give you 140 million and we have to sell players to buy players. You're Manchester United. You make God knows how much billions a year. And you're telling Ten Hag that he's only got 140 million or whatever it is budget. And you've got to sell players and you won't even sell Maguire because you've got to pay 12 million. You won't get rid of Tomine. You won't get rid of flipping, what's his called? All these players, Sancho, because you spent 80 million on him. It's delusion, man. But these are the true narratives, is that Eric Ten Hag knows he's not going to get back and he's thinking, fuck it, what's the point? How can I instill my philosophy if you're not giving me all control? I need control, like Sir Alex Ferguson had control. Yeah? So when you look at that, it brings me on to Pochettino. What did Pochettino come out and say? He said, the supporters would kill me if I didn't play Caicedo and Enzo against Arsenal because they came back from international a couple of days before. And the owners would kill me as well. They'd be upset as well. It's the same fucking thing. The owners are putting pressure on Pochettino. You have to play Enzo. You have to play Caicedo. There are record signings. You have to play Mudryk. You have to play these players. All right? Why? Because David put investment in them. It's not about what Pochettino wants. He's a yes man. Just like Jellyfish Potter, a yes man. He was told not to play players and played players. It's the same narrative. So as far as we have at Chelsea and United have with the Glazers, have these owners in charge that are yes men models, money-making models, commercial freaks There is no chance of these clubs building identity, longevity, sustainability, success, and compete with Manchester City, who are a benchmark. Is never happening. Long way from Starbucks. The way we're doing it with kindergartens, you ain't got no chance. The way United are doing it, they got top 4 last year, just about. So they'll sack him. They'll bring in a Conte or someone like that. He'll steady the ship. He'll problem solve, because our clubs have always had, well, Roman, he say, here's the gaffer, I want elite gaffer, and I want you to make this squad work. And he had to make it work and problem solve. Well, our owners are doing that with kids and a less elite, well, not an elite manager. He's not an elite manager. He's a good manager, development manager. He's not elite. They don't care about culture. They don't care about the fans. They put out, they're going to give a coaches for free for the Wolves game that's going to be played on Christmas Eve. They agreed to Christmas Eve because they want the money, broadcasting right money. Yeah, let's have it right. Because otherwise it doesn't get broadcasted. All right. And that game, they lose monetization. All right. So they agreed Christmas. They had to do that to try and sweeten the fans after losing to Brentford as a disgrace where there's booze in the ground. These are the facts. These are the minerals, bro. Yeah. These are the facts. These are the minerals. Big up Constantine says Thomas Frank has had the same number of wins at the Bridge as Chelsea in the whole of 2023. Yet PR Twitter puppets will say trust the process and the owners. Well, this is why they're frauds, they're liars, they're deceivers, bro. And they're all doing it for the benefit of our clown owners. And this is very sad. And it just shows you they're all disingenuous, every single one of them. They're all frauds. They're all liars. Yeah, all of them. Simon Jordan said it was right to sack Thomas Tuchel. Of course he did. He's pro Bowley and Egbali. He probably wants a job. Yeah, probably wants money. He wants brown envelopes, man. He needs money. He's just sitting as a presenter. He's a radio presenter, bro. He's a pundit. What is he? He's gone from club owner, mid-table, mid-level, non-elite, to being a pundit on TalkSport. The guy needs his money, bruv. Let's have it right. He needs to get paid. Replica says, do you think the financial consequences of missing top 4 will make them abandon the multi-club model? And if so, how long do you think it will take? There's a double-edged sword with this one, because yes, it will make them realise that this model's not going to work and that they have to go through another season of losing a lot of money, another season of players getting pissed off because in their contract, it's got Champions League bonuses. And these players will lose money, like Reece James losing money on his contract this year. He's losing about 60, 70 grand because we're not in the Champions League, so he's not getting those bonuses. All right. Well, a lot of these players have these bonuses involved in their contracts, which is why they signed them. So it's going to cause problems. The problem is the double side there to this is they won't be able to afford to change the model because they've spent all the money. And the new budget that's coming in is to tweak the squad. What drives me mad right now is that you've got all these so-called clued on supporters and platforms, yeah? They come out, they go, we've had a 10 out of 10 window. We love you, Bowley. Trust the process. Don't worry. It's longevity. It's going to take 2 years. We've got to get behind the team. It's all be positive, toxic positivity. Yet you're crying now because we need what? Oh, well, we need a striker. We need a midfielder. We need a goalkeeper. We need another 4 or 5 players. Brad, we've just spent $1 billion and you're asking for more players. Tells you how rotten we are from top to bottom, how these owners and these clowns are just wasting money, transfer window after transfer window, not buying, not dressing us the way we should be dressed in order for us to compete and seriously compete at the highest level. And you're asking for more money to be spent so we can get bantered even more and say, oh, we're not 1 billion club anymore. We're the 1.5 billion club. Yeah, look at us, 1.5 billion team. And where are we? We can just about see we're just at the top, the bottom half of the table. It's embarrassing, man. And it's like they don't question the owners. And then they'll go, oh, yeah, but these aren't Poch's signings, they'll go. And then someone will go, no, they're Poch's signings. Oh, they were Potter signings. Oh, they were Tuchel. No, they weren't. So you're telling me if they're not Poch's signings, but they were Tuchel signings and they were Potter signings. Shut up, man. Long way from Starbucks. Waffle merchants, bro. Modric left Zagreb at 22, yet players are at fault. And you're calling me a clown. What's the point of your comment, mate? What is the point? He went to Spursy. Spursy were a dead club at that time. They weren't competing for nothing. He saw the Premier League and he went to Premier League. But as soon as a Real Madrid came calling, oh, let's have it right, a Roman Abramovich sat on Roman Abramovich's yacht, and we were paying the money, but their wrong and owner wouldn't sell and sold him 10 million less or whatever it was to go to Real Madrid. It's all a stepping stone. You see, all these young players, when they get a call up from Premier League clubs where the money is, they run. They come straight to you. So I don't know what you're on about. Players at fault, the players go where the money goes, mate. And that's what it is. Money makes the world go round. And the money is the problem at Chelsea because they're lowering the wage structure, and the wage structure is all coming at the same level. There is no one to look up to. When you listen to John Terry and you listen to John Obi Mikel, we had to earn respect from John Terry, the gaffer, the players in the dressing room, because the egos were through the roof. The levels were through the roof. Salah and De Bruyne, no chance of getting in the team. They didn't even believe they'd become world-class players, bruv. No chance did they think that, because the levels at Chelsea were so high. We don't have that at Chelsea. Enzo's meant to be the benchmark now. He's the top creme de la creme at Chelsea. We got Raheem Sterling. He's the only one. Thiago Silva with experience. Yeah. We're relying on Casado now. Mudriks, Muduekes, Jacksons, and all these guys. Broha, Gallagher. I mean, look at us, man. We're relying on these players to set the standards at our fucking club. They're kids. Half of them don't even know Premier League football. The only one that's got standards at our football club is fucking Thiago Silva, and everyone's throwing him under the bus, saying bench him, get rid of him, and all this jazz. And you've got all these wrong accounts. I want to bring up a wrong account right now. I'll bring them up. I said I would, and I'll bring him up. Yeah. Little Tom Overs, let's bring him up. The entitlement of some Chelsea fans just kills me. It is this win now attitude that has held us back for so many years and will do so again if we follow their advice and go back to square one. The culture surrounding the club must change. You fucking melt. How can you say, yeah? How can he say, yeah? That has held us back for years. We have been the most dominant club in the last 20 years because of that mentality, because of that model. Yeah? And we haven't won a Premier League in 7 years. Boo-hoo, cry your eyes out, you little melt. Yeah? What about Champions League, the second Champions League, Club World Cup, Super Cup? What about domestic trophies? What about the Europa League? What about dominating in Europe, man? All right? And our culture's got to change. The culture's already changed. So when you get little brown envelopes like this, pushing out pro-owner agenda, pro-owner nonsense, bangers and mash, you have to be very wary of these guys, because these guys are damaging to the club. They're a cancer to our football club. The majority of these guys, they all push out the same narrative, all right? Trust the process. We need time. We need to change things at Chelsea. We need to change the culture. The culture's been changed ever since Roman Abramovich left, and the standards have fallen off a fucking cliff. And yet everyone's listening to this garbage. That's how far fallen we've become, bro. Yeah. Big up to Victor. Says it's funny how highly Ornstein and Fabrizio think of themselves as elite journalists. How about do some actual journalist work and investigate why the UK government still has Roman's money? They are clowns. Well, they won't investigate that because it's not their brief. They're not allowed to tell the truth. Pornstein and Fabrizio, 20 hours a day merchant, yeah, they don't tell the truth. They put out what the going rate is, what the narrative is, what they've been told to say. They're puppets. They're all puppets, these journalists. They're not elite. They're fraudulent. Yeah? They're liars. They don't tell the truth. Yeah? Go and ask Fabrizio about the Mason Mount story. He's a fucking liar. Yeah? And he lied for the owners. He's in the owner's pocket. So's Paulstein. Paulstein blocked me because I called him out saying, what? Only what he said. Potter's not got months. He's got years. He's one of the best managers in the world. He fed that propaganda for Ted Lasso and Siri Merchant. And they have to use the Paulstein and the Fabrizios. Let's not forget these things that happen, bruv. Don't forget it, man. People forget it. They get blindsided. Don't forget all this. And this stems with everyone, man. All these clubs are spending money relentless for this nonsense, this garbage, man. That's what they spend the money on. All of them, bruv. Yeah? And this is not even a joke. I'm telling you that now, bruv. Big up to everyone in the chat. Make sure you smash the piece of the like button. Everyone smash the piece of the like button, bruv. Yeah? All of you. You know what? I would take Simeone right now at Chelsea. That diehard mentality, that fucking horrible football, destroying football. Who cares, man? Win. It's about win, win, win. Winning is what makes you successful. When you're successful and you're winning, your brand, your club becomes bigger. Everything becomes bigger. They'll make more money commercially and all that jazz. And Chelsea are talking for the right reasons. Right now, everyone's talking about us for the wrong reasons. All right. But you're being fed all this false propaganda of positivity. And this is what we got at Chelsea. All right. And it's happening at Manchester United. Manchester United are too concerned about selling shirts than they are about building a team that can compete at the highest level. So where does it leave everyone? It leaves you here. It's a simple message to Manchester United fans. Yeah. If you want to save your club, the only way is to protest. You do what you did last time where you went inside, let's have it right. You gave it a shake about and all that and played your football antics in there. You land your minerals there. You go to games. You scan your ticket. You go in and you walk straight out and you boycott games and every game. And you don't go to away games. And the ones that want to go, let them go. But you all need to be on the same page. The firm needs to be on the same page. Everyone needs to send a message. And that's how you fucking land the minerals. And you become united, yeah? And you make a difference in forcing the Glazers to sell the football club and not bring in that 1%, 25% merchant ratty boy, yeah? Because he's only going to make things worse and complicate things. And it's going to make it an absolute calamity. And more toxic behind the scenes than it already is. All right. And it goes the same with Chelsea supporters. If we want to make a stand, and it's going to come soon, and I have said this last season, I said it all through the summer, it will come to a point where top four is not possible, and we are being shit game. We're playing shit. We're not winning games. We're losing games we shouldn't lose to and all this stuff, bruv. Yeah. That's when we have to protest and we have to land the minerals because let's have it right. These owners, our owners are desperate to have the fans on board. Everything they do is a PR stunt. Don't believe what they say because they're lying to us. And that's a fact. Yeah. Everything behind the scenes. Enzo's unhappy. I'll tell you that now. Mudryk was very unhappy. All right. And he's now having a few games. But do you honestly believe he's injured? Do you believe that Enzo's not playing because of his baby? What are we doing here, bruv? There's falling outs going on behind the scenes, bruv. Yeah. Trev Baresi's not injured. He's been forced out because they want to sell him, bruv. All right. Anything that the owners, if the owners want to sell you or they want you gone, yeah, they know how to treat you, believe me, because they've done it to players last season that I know about. The funny thing is this. Conor Gallagher gets the captaincy, gets to play games because Poch wants him. So it looked bad on the owners if they don't let him play Gallagher because Poch has come out and said he wants Gallagher. So they can't see him as going behind the gaffer's back and doing the opposite. So they have to play Gallagher. But at the same time, they're loving it because Gallagher's value is going up bit by bit. But it won't go up too much if we're having stinker after stinker, bruv, and we're not winning games. So it's a double-edged sword again. Irrespective, they want their 40 to 50 million for Conor Gallagher. And then that player will go. You've got, who else is there? Thiago Silva's clearly unhappy, bro. Clearly unhappy. All right. It's sad that he has to set the standards and people are coming at him for saying it as it is, that they need to work harder, that they need to. And now we've got all the PR from Thiago now saying we have hard training sessions and this, that. Players are getting injured because of Pochettino's training methods. No, damn right, bruv. Go and get your gallons of milk and get your bones stronger so you don't have injuries, bruv. Do you know what I mean? But let's have it right. Poch is the Argentinian jellyfish Potter. And I've always said it. He's another yes man. He's just perceived as slightly more sturdy, slightly more, experienced for that matter, bro. So that's the way I see it, guys. That is the way I see it. The only way we can make a difference, and it will come, is with protests. And that's the same for Manchester United. Otherwise, nothing's changing. The cancer still lives at our football club. Now, everyone says with our owners, oh, well, you're not going to get them out because it's 10 years. I know that. They've got a 10-year contract. But let's have it right. What we do by protesting is forcing their hand to change their model, which is the reason for the protest, is to say to them, sort it out because you've killed our football club. And only now, all people are talking about is football. They're talking about the team selection, the gaffer, this and that. It's not Pochettino's fault, everything. He's been dealt these players. He's been dealt what's in front of him. And he's not elite and experienced enough to be able to deal with the problems that are coming his way, because not only does he not have the experience and the quality in the squad to do it, whereas our this delusional fan base thinks that our squad is better than our previous squad when we won the Champions League and all that, all right, is madness, because that squad's getting us top four back to back. This squad can't even fucking get above 10th place. We finished 12th. Until you get a gaffer and you give him the keys and you truly back him from top to bottom and you have him collaborate with the directors, and you get a sporting director and not have the owners playing sporting director, and they're forefront of this multi-club, beachhead, streamline, all this jazz, we're never gonna develop. We're never gonna develop. All right. And the funny thing is, Poch's not been backed, Potter's not been backed, Tuchel's not been backed, Ten Hag's not been backed. Let's have it right. Ollie wasn't even backed because he's not even the right guy if you want to go back. Jose Mourinho wasn't even fucking back. The bottom line is this. They give the illusion that they've been backed by spending money, but they're spending money for their reasons, bruv. Yeah? Let me tell you about the Glazers. They sacked Jose Mourinho because Jose Mourinho said, I want Paul Pogba gone or it's me. And they chose to sack Jose Mourinho because Paul Pogba had an advertising endorsement deal with Adidas. And that is why they kept Pogba, because it was more money for the Glazers in their pocket than about building under an elite gaffer to win trophies, when Jose Mourinho got them second place against that Man City team with dead players, bro. Dead players, man. All right. Won them a Europa League. That's the levels, man, of having an elite gaffer who can problem solve, bro. Yeah. This is interesting, is that our owners are not going to back the gaffers. The Glazers ain't backing the gaffers. I'll tell you who the gaffer is. The gaffer for our owners is the multi-club project, making money. The gaffer for the Glazers is the commercial money-making train. And that is it. Their interest isn't about football, understanding culture, football philosophy, building around the right gaffer. Like the Glazers are wrong uns, bruv. They've had one of the, if not the greatest manager in Premier League history, yeah, who set the standards, who they were actually own the club with him in charge, yeah. And yet they're not following that same formula. So don't give a fuck. Our owners had the foundations laid there. Everything. They've knocked it all down unnecessarily to rebuild it. Who does that? You enhance, you improve on what you got. This is why everything they do is about money. And we are supporters and we love our football club. We are the heart and soul of the football club. And they are mugging us all off. And that's facts. Victor says, I had to block that Tom Overs. He does PR for the owners, goes on DR Sports and runs agendas against Roman and the old regime under who we won it all because he's a plastic. He's a fraud. Yeah. He's a PR brown envelope machine. He's a Don Robbie merchant. Yeah. You get paid to go on there. Everyone does. So you know why they go on it. And they want publicity. They want followers. They want controversy. They want to set the narrative on a big platform for the owners, the club. Let's have it right. But the club is our club. The owners who run the club are the ones that are destroying it. And they are the dictator. They are the dictatorship at our football club into the direction it's actually going, which is moonwalking down. Back. Yeah. It's a disgrace that they come at Roman. It made me sad watching the Obi and JT podcast, hearing how elite we were and had legends at our club. Will be a miracle to get those standards back. We ain't getting those standards back. Those standards are gone. Kaput, finished. United standards are in the mud. You see, all the energy should be on when you have platforms, you've got the power. You've got the power to put pressure on the ownership. Yeah? You've got power to put pressure on the gaffer, the players, whatever it is. But these platforms, and especially United and Chelsea, they put pressure on the wrong issues. Because the issues they're putting pressure on, like the gaffer, players, it's not going to change anything. No matter what you change with personnel, the problem is above. So until you address the problem above and you actually keep pushing, Glazers out, for example, Bowley Barley out, that, when everyone's doing that, they've got no chance but to either sell the club or do what the supporters say, because they can't afford to lose the supporters. They can't have that toxicity. Everything that our owners do is to buy the fans into keeping quiet so that they can instill their fraudulent model that's never worked in the history of football. And they're actually doing it. And people, they're using all these accounts, all these Twitter accounts to manipulate the fan base. And they're all manipulated. Everyone. The majority is manipulated. We're not on the Minerals FC. It's the same with the Glazers. The Glazers are manipulating because everyone wants connections. Everyone wants links, journalists, information. They want to be the first hand. They want credibility. They want celebrity status. It's all self-driven, self-absorbed to make money off their clubs. And the clubs are paying them to do this. We don't get paid by Chelsea to say all this on the Minerals FC. We don't get paid by journalists, bruv. We don't get paid by platforms. You're mad. Ask yourself all the others that do. And what they say. And when they say it. And how they say it. And what they agree with. What they disagree with. How many people have disagreed with me on my channel? How many? Everyone. Everyone disagrees with me. Everyone. Everyone, I don't know what I'm talking about, this and that. I've told everyone what's happening. It's already, and I told it before it's happened. And it's all happened now. And they're still like, oh, no, he's deluded. Yeah, he's talking shit. Doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just got an agenda because we sold Mason Mount. Man, these wrongers don't realise. I've been on this way before we sold the players we sold in the summer. I've known about this project since way back in January this year. I've known everything. And it's all happening now. But people yet still, they want to feed an agenda on me because I'm not with them. I'm not interested in them. Anyone who's not on the same page with me and being real about the situation, you're dead to me. It's irrelevant, bruv. I mean, what's the point? You're useless. You're useless about putting out the true narrative. You're just one of them. You're part of the money train. You're part of the brown envelopes. You're part of the owner's agenda. Good luck to you. Good luck to you. It's not how we roll on here. And the Glazers have got it to a T. They've got everything to a T. Everything's on lock. Everything. Listen, the worst, you're right, the worst is yet to come. All right? It's going to get a lot worse, get a lot more toxic, and then supporters will wake up. But I told you, you're waking up when it's too late. The money's spent. The model's implemented. You see, you can sack Poch, all right? Who are you going to bring in? You ain't got a war chest of money like Roman used to do and just go, oh, we're going into the market again and we're going to buy this and we're going to buy that. No, that money we've spent $1 billion. There's no chance you're doing that, bruv. There is no way these owners are going in. The only way they can buy Osimhen, bruv, is if they sell Trev Chalobah, Maatsen, add a little bit of money, or maybe get Gallagher. All right? That's the way they're going to do it. That's the way they're going to do it. So, smash the piece to like button, guys. Smash the piece to like button. We're looking at what's his name, Jimenez. All these strikers. They told us, they told us that they were trusting in Jackson. He's going to be our striker. That's why we didn't buy a striker. All of a sudden, they don't trust in Jackson now because they realise he's not fucking good enough and he's not ready yet. Yeah. So now they've got to go in the market again and spend more money. They're spending money to rectify their mistakes, but they're spending it again on the wrong profiles, the wrong age, the wrong amount of experience, the not elite, blah, blah, blah. It's the same old thing. Round and round we go. Recycle. Bad decisions. And that is why we will not elevate in the right direction. It's as simple as that, bruv. It's not whether I think he's good or not. I'm just saying, why didn't you go and buy him in the summer? Why are you waiting now for us to be in a shit show where you have to panic buy again? It's always panic buys, bruv. The planning is poor, the structure's poor, the strategy's poor, the personnel in charge making decisions are poor, the owners are playing sporting director, it's poor, they're inexperienced, they don't know football, they don't care about team. It's all this false propaganda, and now they're trying to mud Roman's name to make themselves look like they're doing a good job and that Roman done a shit job when he won the lot. And all this Willian talk and Eto talk, why was it not brought out even when Roman was in charge 2 years ago before he got sanctioned? Why wasn't it brought up a year before that or the year before that or after we bought Willian? Why is it all of a sudden coming out now? Yeah? Why? Yeah? And then you get Simon Johnson coming out. What's happened to Pochettino's "we win, no excuses" mantra? You know, CFC 8 points worse off than at the same time, at the same stage last year, as the reality of the difficult job at Stamford Bridge sets in. I mean, it's of course, man, he's going to blame it on the gaffer. He'll never blame it on the owners that have created this shit show, destroying, gutting us out, literally all for the pound note. I mean, it's just like it's all propaganda against the gaffer, and then you get the articles. Oh, he's going to be given time and all this jazz, bruv. You know, look at Man United. Man United have now lost as many Premier League games at Old Trafford since Sir Alex Ferguson's retired as they did in his 26 years at the club. That's how bad they've fallen. And we've got it all to come at Chelsea. All of this is coming. We're breaking records anyway. Thomas Frank's got more wins at Stamford Bridge than Pochettino and Lampard put together in 2023. I mean, how far do you want to go? Worst season in 30 years. Everything's disjointed at our football club. John Terry's spoken of it. Go and watch the podcast. He says it fantastic. He says, "Oh, we're dinosaurs. We have to, you know, we've got to be careful what we say. This and that. Football has changed and this and that, bruv." The reality is, no chance. Standards should be how they should be, just with players in this era. The philosophy and the standards should not change at a club like Chelsea, and definitely at a club like Man United. Unfortunately, they're set by the ownership, and the ownership are pants, clowns. And that's where we are, bruv. That's where we are. I want to play this, guys. So I'm going to play this right now. And I want people to understand this is the tone. This is how it should be. All right. At Chelsea. And these owners have stripped this of us. All right. They've stripped this, bruv. So let's play this quickly.
Really is the kind of the figurehead for setting the standards that Chelsea had for the best part of 2 decades.
Well, I think me being captain, I would say I'm part of that process for sure. I think the good thing we had when Jose was there was that at that period of time, and you don't see it a lot in managers nowadays, he was in charge of the football club from top to bottom. And I think it's really important for the group of players to understand and realise that he was in charge. He was signing players. He was getting people sacked if they weren't good enough or up to standard. He was releasing players if they wasn't good enough. The stadium was being changed. The dugouts were being moved. Every decision was Mourinho's at that time. And when you're a player, that's a powerful thing to have. Nowadays, you don't see it. A lot of managers manage the team and the owners want to manage the players and the training grounds and all of that. We knew and we were very clear in that first year of Mourinho that he was in charge of everything. And as a player, that's really intimidating. So I think when he gives you the license to manage that group, it's anything on the training pitch and away from the training pitch with Mourinho, the dressing room, the treatment room, the canteen. Standards are set and have to be set. And I remember Mourinho at the time. He'd go up and he liked his porridge in the mornings quite thick, but I liked my porridge quite runny in the morning. So he'd come up, and it would be runny because the chefs are trying to get it right for me. And he'd go, "This is a disgrace. It's too thingy." Call the chef out. The chef would be panicking, and there need to be 2 options, thick and runny for the players and the staff, and make sure we've got options and this. And what it done to the canteen staff, it just kept everyone on their toes. It made them put 2 bits of porridge. It sounds really petty and really minimal, but for players, this is our fuel for our training and all of that. He wanted the players and the staff to have the best of everything, and we did under him. And we were very lucky with that. So, of course, I take credit with a little bit of that, because we see a lot of players over that period of time that have gone on to be, world stars, Kevin De Bruyne, Mo Salah, who at that time couldn't come into the level that we were at the time and train at our level, perform at our level, and ended up going away to get the experience they needed to then get to the levels they've obviously gone to. And those levels were so high. But again, Mourinho was very much in charge of that. So when I was there, it was Dennis Wise who showed me the way. I'd like to think that when Obi and when the new guys signed, it was like, this is what we do. When we lose, or if we lose or we draw a game, it's not acceptable to come in and be laughing around the training ground Monday and Tuesday after a Saturday's bad performance. It's like we feel the pain of that, and the medical staff have to feel the pain of what we're feeling as well. And that ripples through the whole place. If actually, when you win, the place is the best place to be from Monday to Friday. But if not, it's a fucking horrible place to be, because everyone's got the ump, but then it just pushes you as players, as staff, to push a little bit more. And we had a great relationship with all of our staff. We looked after them both on the pitch and off the pitch. But when things were wrong, they got told it was wrong and wasn't good enough.
And what have we got when we lose a game? We got our gaffer smiling and joking with the goalkeeping coach at Arsenal after dropping a 2-0 lead. We got all of our players on social media smiling. We got Chelsea admin Twitter tweeting out the players smiling, positive training, all this jazz, all positive, all smiles and all this shit when we've lost games and we're going through a shit run. Tells you everything you need to know about how the dictatorship are forcing these admins and these platforms to push out this whole good atmosphere, happy-go-lucky at Chelsea when we are having losses and draws and poor results. It tells you that our standards are nowhere near what JT, our GOAT legend, is saying how it was when we were under Roman Don Abramovich.
We got told from our
house. I think that's something. Do you think that's something that's wrong now? You see them after the day of the game, after the game, and they go on the training ground, and you see they take a video and pictures, and they post it on the on the Instagram, and you see the players laughing and joking on the pitch. That never happened when we were there. Is that something you think that needs to change? Because is it just because they're trying to change the atmosphere of the place to try to create a good atmosphere?
It's because they got kids, John Obi, bruv. They got kids everywhere. The young kids, they haven't got any generals like you had with JT, Lampard, Drogba, Cech, Ashley Cole, Ballax. Real leaders, real generals, driven players that all they want to do is win and be at the top and not be smiling after a draw or after a loss. Do you know what I mean? These are the levels, yeah, and they've fallen. They're falling off a cliff. They're non-existent at Chelsea, and the owners allow the content to be put out. They want all this happy-go-lucky. We're all united together. It's all a family, and all this nonsense. Well, Jose Mourinho built family environment, but he also had shithousery, and he had standards and level, and everyone feared everyone in the club. Everyone was fearing the gaffer. Everyone was fearing Roman Abramovich. Everyone was fearing leaders in the dressing room. Everyone was fearing everyone, bruv, because if the results weren't good, it was like John Terry said, it was fucking shit. Well, when it's winning and you're winning, it's buzzing. You're all together, and you can smile and you can do all that PR crap. But when you're losing and it's shit, you can't be doing this PR nonsense. And I'm tired of seeing all this fabricated, toxic positivity forced by our club. It's disgusting because we're a shambles, and it's a mockery.
Yeah, because the results are not coming yet, or is it something that has changed since from when we were there?
I think it's
changed because of these owners, mate.
something that as ex-players and older players, we have to be really careful because we don't want to be labelled dinosaurs in the game. But at the same time, I think I would agree with that, Obes. I would, because it just seems a little bit like, and Chelsea are going through a difficult period at the moment. So actually, there's going to be more bad days than there is probably good at the moment. Like with a lot of other clubs, Man City are dominating, and Arsenal are competing with them as well at the moment. So anyone else are kind of you're losing one game every 3 weeks, which is then difficult. As a manager and a group of players as captain, I often think to myself, right, how would I pick the boys up? We would probably do it differently. We'd probably have a night out, or we'd do a team bonding session or something. But actually, it's difficult. We don't want to sound like dinosaurs, but there's an acceptance. And I think there's an acceptance within the building of all football clubs, and I see their socials and their individual Instagrams and stuff like that. It's accepted actually, and I think if I was a supporter, I wouldn't be too happy with that. And also,
go on, JT, land it. We're not happy with it. We're disgusted by it. It needs to stop. It's like a mockery. It's all like fun and games at the moment. It's all about image, and everything's great in front of the camera and in front of all the supporters' eyes, but behind the scenes it's toxic and it's rotting, bruv. And I know this.
Also, I think the biggest thing for me is I see so many players getting injured, during the week and being out for 3 or 4 weeks. I think the levels of training have come off massively to where we were. I spoke earlier about our levels being so high that actually the games felt really easy. I mean, I was marking Didier Monday to Friday, pretty much. Anyone I was coming up against the weekend was nowhere near as good as Didier. But Didier would elbow me, he'd run behind, he'd come short, he'd push me, he'd want to argue with me, he'd tower above me. And these players now, I think, get in the mindset of actually Monday to Friday, let's just look after myself, and I maybe won't go full speed, I won't do this. They get to Saturday and they try and accelerate or try and be the player they need to be, and their bodies break down. So I think there's a couple of bits, mate. But again, we have to be careful because the players are clearly different now, and we see the sides of mental health and all of that. But
the players are different because they're kids and they're nowhere near the levels of our goats in our game that were playing in the JT era, Lampard era. They're nowhere near it, man. They don't come close. I mean, these kids wouldn't even be in our under 23s at Cobham under Roman, man. Majority of these players. So what are we doing here, man? And yet our supporters are just accepting it. All these platforms accept it. It's just pathetic, man. It's so, our standards are in the mud, man. And everyone's like, oh, well, we have to lower our standards because, football's changed now. The benchmarks, Arsenal. Look at Arsenal. Look at what Arsenal have done over the 5 years. Well, what have they done? What have they won? Tell me. What have they won? What's Lego Head won? An FA Cup in his first 6 months. He won nothing since. Is that what we're doing here? We're going to wait 5 years to just compete at second or third and get Champions League football and win no trophies and spend billions. Man, you deserve everything you get if that's your mentality.
Also, I'm not sure the managers are fully in charge of everything like they was back in our day.
Come on then, JT, be honest.
He's just landed it there. Managers are not in control. It's a fact.
Interesting that you mentioned Mo Salah and Kevin De Bruyne.
So, as you can see there, JT landed it, man. Said it as it is. I mean, that is the minerals landing from JT, our GOAT. Shout out to John Obi Mikel. Guys, go and subscribe to Obi1 podcast. Go and support our legend as well. I'm sure he's going to have plenty of subscribers, but fuck it, we send them all from the Minerals FC. So go and subscribe to the channel and support it, because there's some great content on there and a great insight into what it was like. JT talking is very, very raw and interesting and factual, and it's a different way of hearing it on a podcast. It's nice. So go and support Obi Mikel's podcast, and like I say, this is where we are now. You look at all the other clubs, the ones that give a manager control and they have a structure and all the hierarchy are all in tune together and coherent. They're doing bits. They're building towards something. But there's a difference. Brighton, Brentford, Arsenal even, Spurs, they got the time because they haven't won anything for so long. Some of them haven't won anything at all. But Arsenal's haven't won for a long period of time. So it's almost like they're forced to accept the process anyway because they're building. You know what I mean? Chelsea, Man United, they've been so successful that it should be a bare minimum requirement to have these levels and standards. The supporters will not wait. We're not patient. The supporters ain't going to be patient with Pochettino and Ten Hag. Yeah. So what makes you think they're patient for a process? Half of these supporters majority don't even know what the fucking process is at Chelsea. They just be going along with it. They think they know. But deep into the roots of what the process is, then you'll understand. Yeah. It's very true, Venom. Anything can happen. We could also get fucking relegated. Yeah. We could almost get relegated like we did last year. We've forgotten about last year, that without Thomas Tuchel's 10 points, we would have been relegated. So yeah, careful what you wish for, careful what you're sponsoring, because you'll be in the fucking mud, and then you'll be turning around going, oh shit, I've been done. I look like an idiot. I've been mugged off by these owners, and we're truly in the mud. We're going to be worse than Manchester United. In fact, we're not far behind Manchester United. We literally, these owners have done a fantastic job to catch up with United in such a short space of time, spending $1 billion in quick succession of 3 windows, having our worst season in 30 years, going through 4 different gaffers, and stripping our club of everything that was elite. So trust the process. Well done. All the minions, trust the process. Good luck to you. Do you know what I'm saying? Good luck to you. There was a few other things I wanted to run through very quickly. I want to see where it is. Hit the like button, guys. Make sure you smash the piece of the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Every single one of you. I want you all to do that. Now, since Ten Hag took over, United have a plus 10 goal difference from 48 Premier League games. For comparison, City have plus 76 goal difference. Arsenal plus 60. Newcastle plus 50, who are the most defensive team in the league, bruv, for a top half table team. Liverpool plus 42. Brighton plus 23. Spurs plus 20. Aston Villa plus 17. Brentford plus 16. Chelsea minus 7. Chelsea minus 7. Goal difference. Trust the process, yeah? Trust the process. Bear with me, guys. I want to get something up for you. All right, so where is it? Where the hell is it, man? All right, here it is. And I want to shout out Bri Guy, who's part of the Minerals FC Ultra. And I want to read out his comment, because his comment is frightening. It's frightening. Yeah. So let's read it out. He says, I share your frustrations and have since I watched their first summer window unfold. It's been a disorganised mess from the genesis of their project. I mean, what sort of clown buys Chelsea for nearly £3 billion and doesn't have any employees ready to hit the ground running? No sporting director, technical directors, nothing. What sort of organisation starts off like that in pro sports? It hasn't got any better. The recruitment has been generally horrendous, with few exceptions. Nobody's talking about the signing of Lavia, partly because he was bought and for some bizarre reason wasn't even fit for weeks. Then got a bad injury, but when he does return, where does he play? Currently, Chelsea's midfield three has been Enzo, Casado, and Gallagher. They weren't playing with a 10 like they did today, which was obviously the game we lost against Brentford. They spend 60 million on Lavia to sit on the bench. Do they play with a 10 going forward or stick with that midfield three? Then there's Ogachuku and Santos, who's on loan. I'm assuming Gallagher gets sold, pure profit. After all, there's no room for Joe Shields' boy Lavia. My point is, I didn't understand why they needed Lavia. The money was needed for a striker and a quality number 10. Just wasteful. And this is the Minerals landing now. Just some fun facts, yeah? The announcer mentioned during the game that in the calendar year of 2023, Reece James hasn't played in one league game where Chelsea won. Hard to believe. Enzo had a similar statistics a few weeks back. Of the 17 ever presents in the league in 2023, only Everton and Bournemouth have taken fewer points. Chelsea are averaging fewer than a point per game this calendar year, of 32 points from 33 games. Pochettino has a win percentage of 41%. Only Hoddle, 34%, and Potter, 39%, have worse win percentage in the league era. Chelsea's squad costs 5 times more than Brentford's, and their wage bill is nearly 4 times as much. Brentford managed to finish 15 points ahead of Chelsea last season, and now have won on each of their last 3 visits to the bridge. Pinnock, opening goal scorer today, has more league wins, 3 at the bridge, than the Premier League's all-time most expensive signings, Enzo and Casado. Chelsea have registered 139 shots and 85 from inside the box. Only 44 on target and 13 have resulted in goals. Chelsea have scored fewer goals than West Ham and Brentford and 10 fewer than Villa. Chelsea registered 17 shots for Brentford, but only 2 were on target. And these are the facts. These are facts. Stats. Data. Data doesn't lie. The data doesn't lie. Boom. Let's have it right. Minerals landed. Shout out Bri Guy, Minerals FC Ultra. Everyone shout him out in the chat, guys. Big up to everyone. Smash the likes, hit the subscribe button, all that jazz. Become a member of the Minerals FC Ultras, brothers, well, if you want. But I'll tell you what, that is scary, yeah? And we know this is what's happening, you know? Why don't they look at that data? Why don't they propaganda that data? Do you know what? Let's tweet that out. Let's tweet out that entire comment and let the timeline digest those minerals. How about that, bruv? Yeah? Let's have it right. Because the bottom line is this. I don't like what I see on the pitch with the eye test. I don't like what I see with stats. I don't like where we are. I don't like where we are on the table. I don't like the team that we're building. I think it's not good enough. I don't like the lack of experience, lack of eliteness. I don't like the fact that we don't have an elite minerals general gaffer. We don't have a sporting director. We don't have owners that stop meddling and going in that dressing room and dictating transfers. I don't like that we've ransacked Brighton FC and trying to copy their model when you can't copy and replicate their model because their data is owned by them. Their system, the betting app, everything they built is owned by them. No one can get authority or access to that. So they can always translate that to their model and to buy and profile players that suit with their data and what their model is dictating. It's almost like AI technology, bro. We don't have that, but they're copying that, thinking that they can get that because they don't know what they're doing. It's all Moneyball. Maybe they're in the process of building their own technology right now. Who knows, bro? But we ain't got time for that nonsense. Yeah, the Premier League don't give you time. The supporters don't give you time. The gaffer ain't got time. Just like the Glazers, just like Man United, just like Ten Hag, no one gives you time, bruv. All right. And Chelsea, as the Man United, are clubs that don't go with this trust, the process. You know what's funny is that all these United supporters and all these Chelsea supporters go, oh, well, if I see good performances, but, you know, it's a building block and a stepping stone, a development, this and that, you know, I'm all right with that. Well, Jose Mourinho said the moment you accept playing well and not winning is when you stop being a big club, an elite club. Yeah, let's have it right, because you're living off your history. But everyone's happy with watching some nice football but losing games. Nah, man, standards are in the mud. So yeah, everyone's washed, man. And someone put a comment about, I don't like the way you come at the. I agree with what you say, Johnny, but I don't like that you blaming all the fans. You see, when I say these things, I'm talking about supporters that have platforms, that have responsibilities. They're the ones I'm aiming at because they've got a platform and a narrative that they could push out that should be correct and true, bro. We're not getting the truth. We're getting what is recycled, what everyone wants to hear, and what they've been told because they've been drilled it in their mind 24/7. So it's like if anyone says anything different, it's a shock to the system. They ignore it, they dismiss it, and they call it garbage. It's the wrong opinion. It's the wrong narrative. You see, a lot of the stuff I say isn't opinion. It's what I know. So it's like, you know, you can't even go, that's your opinion, because I know what I'm talking about. And I know you guys in the Minerals FC, you respect that and you understand that. And you've been here. There's a lot of people that join the channel now and they haven't seen what's been said on all my previous streams. The ones that have been here from the previous streams, you know exactly the deal. Yeah. And you know that everything's happening is backing me all the way because it's happening right now. You know, people go, oh, well, Emery didn't get time. Why does Pochettino need time? Why does Potter need time? Why does Eric Ten Hag need time? Well, there's a difference. Aston Villa are not Chelsea and not Manchester United. The pressures that come with those clubs is through the roof, and the supporters. So, yeah, you don't get time. You don't get time. The problem is the people that are running our club, and the ones that are running United do not understand football. They don't want to understand football. All they understand is the dollar sign and the pound sign. And anything that can lead them to that and more of it and a lot of it, that's what dictates them. That's it, bruv. But right now, I hate to break it to you, but Chelsea Football Club is a mid-table team. And it looks very much like Man United are heading that way if they don't change the ownership and they don't change, or the ownership doesn't change their attitude towards the club. And if our owners don't change their attitude towards the fans and the club, we are heading all the way down, bruv. Do you understand me? I'm not shocked by that. I can see it all happening, and it is happening. We are a mid-table team already, and we spent $1 billion. So you tell me, you want to blame players? You want to blame the gaffer? Ask yourself, who hired these lot? Who hired the gaffer? Who sacked the gaffers? Who hired the gaffers? Who's making decisions? Who's negotiating transfer windows? Who's buying the players? Who's signing them on 8-year contracts? And then it's all rosy, bruv. It makes sense to you, wouldn't it? Would it? No, it doesn't. No, we'll still blame Pochettino. We'll still blame the players. Maybe some of these players just ain't good enough, mate. Maybe they're just not Chelsea level, bruv. Do you know what I mean? You listen, we can beat Spurs at a bare minimum requirement. We have to beat Spurs. If we do not beat Spurs, I mean, what are we doing here? Yeah. But Spurs are playing very, very well. And they're confident. They got momentum. And they're backing their gaffer. So you think in our state we're going to beat them? I think the only way we beat them is if everything's on our side. and somehow we turn up. But I mean, have we turned up all season? No. So it is what it is, bruv. But big up to everyone, guys. Every single one of you. I'm sure there's points that I've forgotten to make or whatever. But it is what it is. We land it everywhere we go. But like I say, do not stop lowering your standards. Do not lower your standards. Do not lower your standards. Don't let anything stop you. And that's it, bruv. End of. So, guys, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, push this out. I want people, anyone out there, you start clipping, guys. I'm going to set up another channel as well. So we'll see how that goes. I'll set up another channel because this channel's getting majorly blacklisted, and it is what it is. But you know, we need to keep landing it 24/7, and together with you, lot guys on the Minerals FC, it's gold. You know what I mean? Everyone that supports the channel, bruv, respect and love to everyone. And as always, guys, as always, we see things they'll never see. Up the Chelsea, up Minerals FC. Shout out Chelsea old boys. Rest in peace, our Minerals FC Ultra, bruv. And all you ultras in there, respect to every single one of you. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what's going on YouTube, but it's clearly got something going on. But I think on this show tonight, we have landed some serious minerals here and dissected on both fronts. United, Chelsea, the relation between the two, everything, bruv. But I tell you what, we won't stop doing that, and there'll be more to come. And do we know who won Ballon d'Or? Lionel Messi, yeah? Lionel Messi won Ballon d'Or, guys? Do you know what I mean? Let me know in the chat. I'm sure he won it. Big ups DJ Sav, bruv. Big up DJ Sav. Big up Cursor. Long live Chelsea old boys, bruv. Come on. It was rigged. Messi won it. We know that. Big up and Mickey Joy, boy. We won the lot. Let's not ever forget that. Thank God we have won the lot. Thanks to Roman, bruv. And let's have it right. Fabrizio, 20 hours a day merchant, yeah? Let's have it right. This guy, man, a PR for our owners, bruv. Brown envelope. This guy knew he was winning the Ballon d'Or before Messi knew, bruv. What are we doing here? You know, this is how bad it is, bruv. Do you know what I mean? This is how bad it is. This is how bad we've fallen, bruv. You know what I mean? I need to do a show. I want to do a show with Tobes and Shug Sean coming on the Minerals FC. I want to see, yeah, he's a Ratfish Romano, bruv. I want to do another show with maybe Lee as well, and we're going to land it, bruv. And let's have it right. And also, I went on a Twitter space today on, what's it, Terry, bruv, from the Football Terrace on his Twitter space. Go and check that out, bruv, because Minerals were landed on there. And they United supporters all in agreement with us on the Minerals FC and what we say, bruv. So go and check that out, guys. And big up Nick Smith, bruv, my geezer, bruv. Sing a beer out, you know the deal, standard, bruv. And as always, shout out Neil, bruv. Come on, we won the lot. 2 stars, champions, bruv. Champions of the world, champions of Europe. Won the lot. And this is what we're about, bruv. Do you know what I mean? Big up to everyone. Yeah, love, stay healthy. I need to go gym now. So respect to everyone. And go and check out John Obi's podcast as well. Obi-Wan, quality podcast, guys. And put all your comments down below. I need everyone's comments. The comments were elite on the last show. I want you to land your comments, all your facts, all your minerals. And I'm going to go through my last show's comments and tonight's comments as well. And I'll literally respond as much as I can, guys. All right. So big up to everyone. Respect, up the Chelsea, up Minerals FC. And we see things they'll never see. Let's have it right. Let's go.